Hey, I'm Bradley Phillips with Phillips Law, and welcome to this episode of Law on the Bayou. Our goal is to make the law simple and easy to understand. So today we're going to dive into possession with intent to distribute, also known as PWIT. PWIT carries much harsher penalties than simple possession in Louisiana, and let's talk about some frequently asked questions that we get. First, what is possession with intent to distribute? Possession with intent to distribute means that law enforcement believes you weren't just carrying those drugs for personal use, but that you intended to sell them or distribute them to other people. Big difference between possession and PWIT can be critical because the penalties are far more severe when you factor in intent to distribute. So, how does law enforcement determine possession with intent to distribute? That can be charged based on a number of factors. It's not just about the amount of drugs. You don't have to have 5 pounds of drugs to get charged with PWIT. Even if you've got a small amount, a few grams, police might charge you with PWIT if they find evidence suggesting that you were planning to sell the drugs, or if they actually catch you selling the drugs. Doesn't matter if you have 1 gram, if they catch you selling the drugs, that's PWIT. Examples of PWIT: large quantities, carrying more drugs than you might be considered for personal use, packaging and materials. If you've got plastic bags, scales, other packaging materials, police may argue that those items suggest distribution. If you've got a lot of cash with you, especially if you got a lot of cash in small denominations, 1, 5s, 10s, that could be used as evidence of drug sales. Text messages and communications. If your phone has a bunch of text messages that seem to coordinate drug deals, law enforcement knows what they're looking for, and they can use that as evidence of intent to distribute. So let's say you're stopped and found with a few small bags of marijuana. But say with that marijuana, you've also got a digital scale, cash, plastic baggies. Even though you might only have a small amount of the drugs, the presence of the scale, the cash, and those baggies could lead to a PWIT charge, because those are items that, when you look at the totality of the circumstances, suggest that rather than just using the drugs, you're selling them. Is there potential for enhanced penalties? Yes, 100%. It's a lot worse to be charged with PWIT near a school, near a church, near a park, some other protected area. If you're charged with PWIT within 2,000 feet of those locations, penalties can be more severe. So let's take a look. Say you're selling drugs in front of a school. Doesn't matter if it's after school hours. Judge, prosecutors, they can push for longer sentences or larger fines simply because of the location where you're selling the drugs. Another questions we get very often are, what are some defenses? Might be an illegal search and seizure. If we can prove that police didn't have probable cause, didn't have a warrant, whatever it may be, to search your car, your house, your person, whatever, Fourth Amendment protects you from unlawful searches and seizures. If they don't do what they're supposed to make sure when they're searching and where they're searching, they are allowed to be searching, that evidence gets thrown out. Big takeaway, they don't have the drugs, they don't get to convict you. So let's use an example. Let's say they stopped your vehicle, they searched you without a warrant or any other legal justification. If your attorney can prove that the search was illegal, the evidence found during the search, drugs, cash, paraphernalia, guns, whatever it may be, that can all be thrown out, and that would very likely lead to the charges being dropped. Lack of knowledge. Got to have knowledge. It's the whole intent element of possession with intent to distribute. If you don't know they were there, if you don't know where they're going, who they're going to, then you don't have the intent to possess. Most importantly, you don't have the intent to sell. Let's say you're driving in a friend's car. You didn't know they had a trunk load full of cocaine. You said, hey, Bob, can I borrow your car? I got to run to the grocery store. On the way to the grocery store, you get stopped. You lacked the knowledge of those drugs. You had no intent to distribute them. Police stop you. They search the car. They find them. That's Bob's car. Those are Bob's drugs. I didn't know. That's a defense. Mistaken identity or ownership. Sometimes law enforcement can wrongly accuse the people of being in possession of drugs that weren't theirs. In those cases, say drugs found in a shared space, vehicle, something like that, may be unclear. Not your drugs, that's a valid defense. Big thing we see about this is a car gets stopped. There's 4 people in it. They find drugs somewhere in the car that is ever accessible to everybody. What we often see is everybody gets arrested. Even though only one person knew those drugs were there, was the owner of those drugs, everybody gets charged. We can use that to defend you in those situations. If you need help and you're facing a PWIT charge, it's extremely serious. Penalties can affect your life for years, but with the right legal defense, there are ways to challenge those charges and protect your future, and that's exactly what we do here at Phillips Law. We've defended hundreds of clients against a range of these drug charges, including PWIT, and we are here to help. So for more detailed information on possession with intent to distribute charges and the defenses that go with them, we're going to link a blog below. Be sure to visit our FAQ page for answers to commonly asked questions about drug crimes. And if you've been charged with possession with intent to distribute, call our office right away. Don't wait. 504-434-7000. We'll give you a free consultation. Most importantly, we're going to help you understand what your options are and how we can fight to protect your rights. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have plenty of helpful videos. Remember, knowing your rights can make all the difference. Thanks for watching, and call us at Phillips Law if you need our help. Thanks.